Mr. Mohammed, thank you for accepting to have an interview with me, and please introduce yourself and the projects you're working on as a social entrepreneur. Thank you.
My name is Mhammed Abbad Andaloussi. I am a former banker. I have been working for a bank for 34 years and concerned by the development of my country. I always had the three passions: education, education, education. So during my during my prolonged experience in the banking sector, I noticed the wide gap between the supply and demand, and I noticed that the private sector suffers from the lack of the human resource quality to improve the competitiveness of businesses. So I get the idea to improve the quality of education to the involvement of businesses, as I have developed a good network of connection with the businesses. So I had the idea to get them involved, not only by providing financial contribution. It's something easy, it could be done by anybody. But I asked them to get involved with a true engagement in school management and in stimulating entrepreneurial spirit. So what is my approach? And this is why I get this award. My approach is to ask businesses to adopt school of their choice. They can choose primary school or secondary school, and in rural area or in urban area, and to adopt it. And what's adopt school mean? It means that they have to participate in what I have created, which is a school support committee. It's like a board that I have created in each school adopted, because today the principal, in general, he's a former teacher, and after 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, he become principal. But the job of principal is not the same than teachers. So he need to manage a school as a businessman manage a company. So we have, I invited the company representative, the principal, the teacher's representative, and the parent representative to work together and to start by a diagnostic. What are the weaknesses of the school? How many dropouts? What are the problems? What about in terms of facilities, in terms of equipment, in terms of schooling obstacle for students? And after this survey, this diagnostic, altogether they decide an annual plan, because the agreement that we sign with businesses is not to finance one project, it's to adopt school for 3 years renewable. So they decide together an annual action plan, which facilities and equipment they have to improve, or which extracurricular activity they have to develop, which skill they have to develop also, which training, and of course the company fund this action plan. So in the beginning it was too difficult because companies have no time. That's what they said. They said, please, it is a good idea to adopt a school, but we give you a money and you adopt on our behalf. And I said, it's not possible. It's not possible for me to, if I succeeded to get involved hundreds of businesses and hundreds of schools adopted, how I can manage all this? And so after many years, I succeeded to convince them, and all what I asked them to do is to get in, to mobilize their executive as volunteer. I asked them, please try organize for me a meeting with your executive. I will speak to them and will explain them what to do in the school support committee and which program on entrepreneurship or on financial literacy or a life skill or leadership. This is the program, this is how long it will take, but always 1 hour a week. And I come, and when I present my project to volunteer, potential volunteer, I come with students who benefited from this training, and they come and they come with their testimonial, and the testimonial also of volunteer, former volunteer, and at the end I ask all the participants to the meeting who are interested to become volunteer. And I am surprised, all the executive managers want to be volunteer, because I think in our Arab world, solidarity is a part of our culture. All what we need is a project with impact. Executives don't like to get involved in any project. But when we ask them to go to school and to coach, for example, students to create and to manage student company, it's based on learning by doing. It's not a lesson that, not courses that we give to a student. We coach them and we give them tools to choose a product to launch and to conduct feasibility study, to raise money. They sell shares, a small amount, of course, per share, and they elect a board, and they start with a business plan. I am speaking about students 16 or 17 years old. And at the end, we organize competition to select the best student company in each country, and the best national company participate at the regional competition to select the best Arab company. And the impact is very, very important, because according to some survey, 30% of students who benefit from this experience create their own business when they are 25 years old. So today, one of our testimonials that we have received from students is this one. I learned at least one thing: I will never be an employee. Because today, even all the incentives given by governments to encourage young to invest in small business, the graduates from university are not interested. Often they are not interested because they are not prepared to take a risk. Most of them prefer to be civil servant or employee in the private sector, but they don't want to take a risk. So this is why entrepreneurship, social entrepreneur is very important, because my dream is to train 100,000 youth during 4 years until 2015. So according to the statistics I communicate to you, 30% become create their own business. So you can calculate how many small business we will generate in the future. So this is my idea. It's not. It's very simple. It's the involvement of the private sector in education and benefiting youth with their expertise, know-how, experience, and to inspire youth. We need to inspire youth, and we need also to instill hope, because today in my country many students are studying in university, but they are very pessimist. They say we are not really, we have no chance to get easily a job when we will finish our study. So they are not motivated. But one of the students said something important. He said, this experience changed the course of my life and gave me a reason to wake up every morning. You see the impact of entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship on youth. So all what we need is to, for example, entrepreneurship today is extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
So we need from you also with youth voice to ask our government to put entrepreneurship in the curricula.
You just jumped to my next question. What do you think is the importance or the role of government to organize such an activity? I mean, this is a really very original and very new initiative, and it sounds very successful, also with the statistics you say and the results that you encounter. But where is the role of the state in such a project?
I think the role, first of all, because school in general don't like some people from outside come to school and to train their student. They said they are our student. They don't want anything else to work with them. So the first thing that we need is an agreement with our Ministry of Education, and we need from them to send a letter to all the schools recommending to welcome the executive from the private banker, from the private sector, to get involved in education. Then we need also, as I said, to put some entrepreneurship, financial literacy, life skill, leadership. We need to include them in the curricula. And then you, as youth, you will be inspired to invite, because everybody today, we have a chance. Everybody is listening to youth, and everybody want to help. So please ask our government to get involved in this project, because we have no problem to get businesses involved today. In my board, I have 60 the largest 60 largest company in my board, providing member fees and volunteer. We have member fees. We have volunteer, and they come for free. They don't ask for any remuneration. So all what we ask the government is to open the school on its environment. and also teachers, we want them to discover the world of business, because they are supposed to prepare youth to employment.
Which brings me to my next question. From your experience in the different projects and different businesses who are adopting different schools, what kind of changes do the executives impose on the curriculum or the way they teach students? I mean, it's very different when an executive teaches students than when teacher does it. So what kind of differences do they make in the curriculum and in the study experience, study environment?
Today it is an extracurricular activity. But what we are looking for is to get it something compulsory, to include it in the curricula. But what we noticed, first, the youth we are impressed by their talent. It is incredible, the ideas of product that they come with. Incredible. One, I will tell you about an example. An example. The youth company, the student company, the name is Youth Yale. And what is their idea? Is to ask potential client, only youth until 25 years, and they say, you want to express something. Every youth want to express something about hope, about perhaps angry, about terrorism, about freedom, about so instead of to go to write anywhere, and it is not clean, and it is not aesthetic. So tell us, what is your message you would like to transmit? And we produce design. And design, it could be on T-shirt, it could be on the wall of your room as poster, it could be on glass, and then they propose 5, 6 design, and the client choose one. And this one, nobody else will have the same. So they produce, and they have very, very, very successful. And they participate to the competition in Amman, and they have a booth. And when we see all the message, all the design, it is really impressive. The Queen Rania, Her Majesty, visited all the booths of Arab Student Company, and she was impressed by this idea. And the student, they express their thanks to Her Majesty, and they offer a T-shirt, and on this T-shirt we find "Keep You" and a design smile. So they are very profitable. So students have a lot of ideas. All what we need is to accompany them. So let's do our best to have all this idea of entrepreneurship included in our curriculum.